makes a lot of effort and emotion to do it again was, I think, a positive to show that we're gaining with maturity, physically, mentally, you know, how to keep bringing and bringing. It's still not good enough. We're still short. We're not satisfied by any means, but I do think with some of these guys to do that was a positive sign. Going through our stuff, special teams, Dalton Mitchell did a good job. All his placements, kickoffs were really, really good. That was probably our special team player of the game. Didn't have anything glaringly negative in kicking. Didn't have anything glaringly pop out as a positive. Didn't really make any big returns. Didn't have anything kind of go against us. It was a good kicking effort. We got to keep making some hay there. We've had some games where we've made plays. And it wasn't bad. It was just kind of an even deal looking at it. Defensively, you know, giving up the 31 points. It was a little bit more than we needed, of course. 0 turnovers created. Had an opportunity to get a couple got out. Didn't get to, getting some stops in the red zone. You know, we're just, still guys who scored a little bit too much. They were 50% on third down. We did reduce the tackles. We did tackle better in space. The 4th down stop in midfield, creating a scoring opportunity for the offense. So there was some positives there defensively. I think we had 350-something. For the way we've been playing against that offense, it needs to be better, but it was a decent outing for the defense. Offensively, we had 2 turnovers that hurt us. One was really not a good play call. Just a combination of the routes that we had called and the way we called it did not match coverage. We kind of put our quarterback in a bad situation personally. We did have a fumble get out. We got it back. Very lucky there. That would have been a huge play where we had a fumble. So we weren't as good with the ball, which haunted us. Had some missed assignments that popped up at critical times. You're always going to have some busts, but we had some at critical times. We got to sustain, finish the blocks. We get 3, 4, 5 in the running game. We need to keep pushing, get more. I said the other day, if you go on the road and you kick field goals, it's not a good formula. You need to get touchdowns and take their crowd out of the game. And to kick 3 field goals was disappointing. We worked decent on third down. We did score every time we crossed the midfield line, which was good. But again, we just got to be more efficient offensively. Their style of play makes it a fast game. Again, the G-Wall we had as the special team player. Greg Heaven was our defensive player of the game. Will Madden, who's been solid over here, was our offensive player. And then the young guys doing well for us, Paul Phillips, who coming off a broken foot, actually played tackle for us last week to work the VR game and get him on linebackers. But Paul Phillips and David Nelson was a walk-on quarterback, was our option guy. He's done a good job for us. And then Chase Parker, a linebacker in Simeon, let me say this right, Okadabu. Is that right? Okadabu. I think it's right. Okadabu, who's a walk-on from upstate, started, I think, in Akron as a transfer walk-on. Those were our defensive scouts a week. So again, disappointed to get the loss. Still, not moral victories, or we're getting. I do think we're to come back and play hard, play with good effort, to really have the game in our hands for the whole game. I think shows that again we're getting there, but again we're still short. So we got to keep pushing. We've challenged the coaches, challenged the players to keep bringing the energy to the practice field. We need a good week because we got 5 remaining games in the Big Ten, 3 on the road, and we're really just focusing, 1 week at a time. This week, Illinois, they've had an off week, and they're like us, looking hard for a win. It'll be a tough battle, so we need to have a good week, and we need to take it on the road. We need to get a win. It's going to be a difficult challenge, but this team needs to start winning. So with that, questions?
How much of getting over the hump is simply doing it? It sounds like a strange thing, but just the belief that you're going to, because guys start to tighten up when you get into tight situations if they haven't been in it before. How much of that is just belief that they're going to win the game?
Probably for where we are, a significant amount of that, I think. It's a good question and something we've talked about, and I think that belief, we actually showed a couple clips the other day when it's 30-30 and we went for a maximum block. We actually showed them the effort, and then we actually stopped the tape, and there were 8 guys looking to see if he made it instead of fighting to make the block. So you get to a point where you start looking and hoping and wanting someone to make a play instead of you just playing as hard as you can. You do your job, whatever that job is. Clear out a route, backside reach block, stalk block, play fake, hand off a good action quarterback, hit the gap, deep third, 58 gap, whatever your assignment is, do your assignment. Again, we're in position where in our time we went from maybe significant plays, needed to win the game, now it's a play. But to do that, we got to believe we're going to make the plays. I think everything that we're doing, the way we practice, the way we got things structured, creates winning habits. We try to have a reasonably disciplined lifestyle of what we're doing on the field, off the field, in the locker room, practice field, in the community, to do things right, and it should transfer into games. So let's keep believing that what we're doing works. Let's keep doing it. Let's find a way to make it work. So it's not one individual. There's not one play. There was a turnover at the end of the game. There was many plays way before that one that wins that game. So the belief deal's a part of it. But again, you cannot hope. You cannot be frustrated. You cannot be negative. All you got to do is keep working, stay positive, and let's go get it done. So, but talking about believing and actually believing is two different things. So how we get to that point of truth, get that embrace, we'll see as we move forward.
What you obviously discussed some of the miscues at the end of of the end of the game. Basically, were you able to kind of determine, I guess, just kind of why that happened? I guess why you had some miscommunications in the I guess next to last drive with some guys running the wrong way and stuff like that. Is it just?
You're human. One play we ran into the field and had a compliment around to the boundary. At the end, we said, "Hey, cover it, let's flip it," and run the same concept the other way. We ran it 2 times in the game, one direction. Now we flipped it, and just human nature. The guys think, "Well, we've been doing it this way," but he didn't see it. Just a guy being a guy, not meaning to, and it's not his fault. Sometimes it's you as a play caller. The first interception in the first half is actually a play what we had called routes to beat cover 2. They played soft corners, played cover 4, and we ran a route that gets a little muddy. And if we had maybe a different concept, because we package a lot of plays, we put our quarterback in a situation where it was a little bit more muddy than it needed to be. So there's all kinds of dynamics from play calling. We ran a route at the end of the game wrong. The whole time I'm thinking we should run it and we should go for it on 4th down. When we call the play, we should run it here and we should go for it on 4th down because we don't want to give them the ball. But mathematically, you need 3 or 4. What if you run the ball, now you're a buffoon coach to run it on 3rd and 4 and get 3, right? Or if you go for it on the 35, you always second guess when things don't work. Okay, have courage to do what you believe and trust the players. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't, you keep pushing. You don't point fingers, because collectively we can all, at the end of the day, change a lot of things we do. And as coaches, like I say, we're working hard to make sure we keep changing to fit our scheme, put our guys in good places, get the right guys on the field, get them in the right spot, and keep giving them a chance to win. So to me, it's a collective effort. And, players don't win and lose, and coaches don't win and lose. We all win and lose. And we all collectively do it together. And right now, we're all collectively short. And it's nobody's fault. It's just where we are. We don't like it. We're not mad about it. We're not negative. We're going to keep pushing it. We're going to keep coming until we get there. And as soon as we get there, it's going to be hard to stay there. We're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing when we get there. And keep coming and coming and coming.
Do you see them practicing at that same high level that you want them at?
Pretty good. Today wasn't quite as good as I'd like to see. Now, again, we're mid part of the year. We're tapering back a little bit and kind of challenge coaches and players now that they have a little bit more energy. Don't want to be a cheerleader. There's a little bit of just rah. But there's a bounce in your step. There's a little bit on your toes. There's a little bit of pop when you're having a good practice. Today was a little sluggish. Wasn't bad. It's Tuesday where we're installing 3rd downs, new blitz looks, some new deals, clean up some formations, both sides of the ball. So, but as we go into tomorrow, and I know last week the same deal. I didn't think we were great Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday, because I think as you go through the week, you want to build momentum. Even though you taper back Thursday and Friday, you want to build momentum, getting to where you can hit the field playing fast. And as we go through this week, we got to keep learning how to do that. And 3-4 weeks, we've kind of done that. And we need to keep doing that as we go into this week. So today was okay. Always would like to see it be better, but we're not playing on Tuesdays. But as we go through the week, I kind of challenge them, like to see a little bit more, time of the year where you still got to hit, and you're still a little sluggish, but you got to move your feet, you got to play with some speed, timing for quarterbacks, all that stuff. So we're the time of year as coaches, you slightly try to taper, but you don't want to lose the expression or the speed that you play the game with without burning your team out.
Kevin, when you're, this is a recruiting question, when you're recruiting for cover guys, defensive backs, what attributes do you look for in that type of setting? What do you need in a guy?
Well, again, it'd be something to, I'll give you my opinion, but also just going to start with Coach Mallory and Coach Shelby. The one thing you're going to need is a guy that's pretty fluid, because, you know, we're going to do some things where it's not all man-to-man, but you have to relate to people, play in space. So, you know, you need a guy that can flip his hips, change direction, have good change of direction ability to not only run fast, but, you know, stop and react, redirect. It is nice to find a defensive back that has a physical presence, because when you play good defense, your defensive backs are pretty good tacklers. You keep things in front, you get guys on the ground. You are looking for speed. In our situation, we got to make sure we don't come too small, because you can, it's hard to be big enough and fast enough. The bigger you are, typically the less speed or the less change of direction. The body's so big, it's hard for that guy to get his toe on the ground and redirect and stay in coverage and whatnot. So as we look for athletes and speed, we need to maintain some size, and that's the rub. Years ago, games changed about 7-on-7, and everybody's recruiting more corners. Years ago, you were best served to recruit as many tailbacks and high school quarterbacks as you could, because the best player played one of those two spots. And you bring in 3 or 4 tailbacks and 2 or 3 quarterbacks, and the best one took the snap and the best one took the handoff, and everybody else played receiver and DB. But we're getting to where there's so much specialization in our sport that you're looking at more, quote, true corners. And I don't know if that's good. I still like looking at tailbacks. I don't know if our defensive guys think that way. I always think tailback's a good player. And you know, you can find a spot for him. So some guys can play receiver, some guys can't. Some guys are big end backers, some guys are safeties, some are corners. So at the end of the day, you're looking for a player, but change of direction, ability to play in space, run, jump. You know, some guys, you just watch them, they can't jump, judge balls. So they might be a good athlete, but they don't have ball skills. And as you're looking for speed, it's one thing to be short, but there's different kinds of short guys. Some short guys are kind of big, broad shoulders, got a little substance. They got on. You don't want to be a quick, small, little guy. You can be short and fast, but you better have some strength, because you still have to compete, you know, and play physical as a defensive back. So it's a tough position. It's really not a lot of great ones.
I'll ask the weekly Hoobler question, and also Jakari, their status.
Those guys have practiced. Hooper's done more. Bernard Taylor also has missed practice. He had a pin put in a wrist. And today he's got the cast. I think he'll practice tomorrow. We'll see how he can go. Colin Rory came in and did well for him. So we're actually coming off a Navy, following cut blocking and whacking. Came up very, very healthy, and we've got Hoobler back in the mix. Jakari going some. We'll see as they go tomorrow how much hit. Now, Hoobler's missed a lot. I would anticipate still going into the game with Cooper, Dahlstrom, and Flo Harden being the 3 backers until we go to court.
How has Flo Harden kind of grown into that position in linebacker? It was full of praise for him. Just kind of what has allowed him to maybe kind of make that transition in less than a season?
Some similarities with safety and backers as far as run support hitting. We do play some match coverage where backers play bats man like our safeties do. So it's a little closer. Sometimes, again, spread deal. That linebacker is almost a safety, so there is some similarity in certain formations. Coach Eckler knows the spot well. He has coached it. It's unfortunate he did miss the 1 week with us, because to come back, you know, they kind of, those guys kind of, well, he and his brother missed a week when they had a family, situation that was tough for them. So he had a week, you know, to come back last week and play was actually pretty good, because the week before, you know, he missed a week and he's not been in the position that much. So smart kid, very, very smart, you know, great student, very, very football smart. And I think that's a spot. I think a year from now we'll be pleased. I think he has the potential to be a solid linebacker for us. He's doing good right now. He's doing better. I think he fits the spot pretty well. He's a good move by Coach Mallory, he coached it when he get into this spot.
It's always a little bit more challenging when it's a new coaching staff. But, you know, Illinois has 7 games on film now too. What have you seen from what Beckman